Here's a number that should make you angry. A typical American retiree drawing $3,000 a month can quietly hand back sometimes $5,000 a year in state and local taxes, on money they already paid taxes to earn, and most people just accept it, like weather. But there's a small club of countries that have made a completely different bet. They want your pension spent in their cafes and clinics, not skimmed by their tax office. So they simply don't touch it. Today, 5 countries where retirees legally keep essentially everything they receive. Real rules, real residency programs, and the real catches, because every one of these has one. And stick around, because number 1 isn't the tropical tax haven you're picturing. It's a quiet, stable democracy that hands new residents a tax holiday lasting more than a decade. And almost nobody in the retirement world talks about it. Welcome back to Passport Retirement, where we do the honest math on retiring overseas. One thing up front, because this channel doesn't do fantasy. If you're a US citizen, you file with the IRS every year for life, no matter where you live. Nothing today changes that. What these 5 countries change is the second layer, the country you actually live in, choosing not to tax your retirement income on top. That's still worth thousands a year. If you're new here, subscribe. And remember, this isn't financial or legal advice. It's a starting point for your own homework with a cross-border tax professional. Let's count them down. Number 5, Panama. Panama runs on what's called territorial taxation, and the principle is beautifully simple. If the money was earned outside Panama, Panama doesn't tax it. Your Social Security, your pension, your 401k withdrawals, all of it arrives untouched by the Panamanian tax office. Zero. And then Panama stacks its famous pensionado program on top. With a lifetime pension of at least $1,000 a month, you qualify for permanent residency plus a discount card that reads like a senior citizen fantasy. 25% off airline tickets, 50% off movies and entertainment, 30% off buses and trains, 15% off hospital bills, and 25% off restaurant meals. Run the math for a retiree drawing $3,000 a month who'd otherwise be in a state like California or Oregon taxing that income at 5 to 9%. Between avoided state income tax and the discounts, you're keeping roughly $2,000 to $4,000 a year that would have evaporated at home. Over a 15-year retirement, that's a new car, or 2 extra years of living costs. Here's the catch. Panama City has gotten genuinely expensive, with modern one-bedrooms running $1,200 to $1,800, so the tax savings can get eaten by big city rent, unless you look at places like Boquete or Coronado. And the humidity is not a rumor, it's a lifestyle decision. Number 4, Costa Rica. Same territorial principle as Panama. Money earned outside Costa Rica, including your pension and Social Security, is simply not taxed there. The retiree residency route, the pensionado category, asks for a modest, guaranteed $1,000 a month of lifetime pension income, and it comes with access to one of the best public healthcare systems in Latin America. But Costa Rica is where I have to start being honest about the fine print, because the headline 0 is not the whole story. Every legal resident is required to join the public healthcare system, the Caja, and the contribution is calculated as a percentage of the income you declare, typically landing somewhere between 7 and 11%. Declare $3,000 a month, and you're paying roughly $200 to $300 monthly into the system. Now, that buys you real healthcare, doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital care, with no exclusions for pre-existing conditions, which, for a 68-year-old, is a genuinely incredible deal. But call it what it is, a health premium that functions a bit like a tax. So the honest math for our $3,000 retiree looks like this. You avoid maybe $2,000 a year in state income tax. You pay around $3,000 into the Caja, and you get comprehensive healthcare that would cost a 70-year-old $800 a month in the States. The catch beyond that? Costa Rica isn't cheap anymore. The secret got out 20 years ago, and popular expat towns now price closer to Florida than to the Costa Rica of the blogs. Number 3, Malaysia. This one surprises people, because Malaysia never markets itself as a tax haven. But for a foreign retiree living there on a long-stay visa, foreign pensions and Social Security are effectively not taxed by Malaysia. Your check lands whole. And unlike the Central American entries on this list, Malaysia offers something close to first-world infrastructure at Southeast Asian prices. Penang and Kuala Lumpur have gleaming private hospitals where a specialist consultation costs $15 to $25, high-speed internet, and food scenes that are reason enough to move. A comfortable couple can live very well on $2,200 to $2,800 a month, meaning our $3,000 retiree isn't just saving the couple thousand a year in avoided state taxes. They're running a monthly surplus in a country where private healthcare is so cheap that many expats just pay cash. Here's the catch, and it's a big one. The long stay program, MM2H, got dramatically more expensive after its 2021 overhaul. The mainstream tier now wants a fixed deposit in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range parked in a Malaysian bank, which prices out exactly the modest retirees this video is for. There are cheaper regional variants, like the Sarawak program with far lower thresholds. And the rules have shifted every couple of years, so this is one where you verify the current requirements the same week you apply, not from a 2-year-old YouTube video, mine included. Number 2, Cyprus. The only European Union country on this list, and the one with the most elegant deal on paper. Cyprus lets foreign retirees choose a flat 5% tax on foreign pension income above a small allowance of around 3,400 euros a year. 5%. Flat. No brackets, no surprises. Our $3,000 a month retiree, drawing $36,000 a year, pays roughly $1,600 in Cypriot tax and keeps the rest. Compare that to a high-tax US state where the state alone might take $2,000 or more, and then add what you're getting for it. Legal residency in the EU, 300+ days of sunshine, and access to GZ, the national health system, where contributions are capped and out-of-pocket costs are a fraction of American prices. English is everywhere. A legacy of the British era, driving is on the left, and the expat retiree community is enormous and well-established. So why isn't Cyprus number 1? Here's the catch. First, the heat is no longer a joke. July and August now regularly sit above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and summers are getting hotter. Second, island economics apply to everything. Cars, appliances, imported groceries all carry a premium, and decent rentals in Limassol have been pushed up dramatically by an influx of wealthy foreigners. A comfortable coastal life realistically runs $2,200 to $2,800 a month. The 5% tax is real, but Cyprus makes you spend some of the savings on the island itself. Number 1, Uruguay. Told you it wasn't the one you were picturing. No palm fringe tax haven, no offshore mystique, just a small, stable, boring in the best way South American democracy that gives new tax residents a holiday on foreign income that can stretch past a decade. Here's how it works. Become a tax resident, and Uruguay lets you take an exemption on foreign financial income, dividends, and interest from abroad for the year you arrive plus the following 10 years. Foreign pensions have their own favorable treatment under the regime. In practice, a retiree bringing in Social Security, pension checks, and investment income can live in Uruguay for over a decade, paying essentially nothing to Uruguay on any of it. And this is a country where the rest of the package holds up. Uruguay has the most stable democracy in Latin America. Real rule of law, drinkable tap water, a proper 4-season climate, and Montevideo consistently ranks at the top of the continent for quality of life. Residency doesn't demand exotic minimums either. Demonstrate stable income around the $1,500 a month mark and genuine intent to live there, and you have a clear path. So what's the catch? The one thing Uruguay refuses to be is cheap. This is not Ecuador. Montevideo costs like a mid-size American city. A comfortable one-bedroom in a good neighborhood runs $800 to $1,200. Dinner out is American priced, and imported anything stings. Our $3,000 retiree lives well here, but without the fat surplus, Malaysia or Panama would leave. Uruguay's deal is precise. You keep your taxes. You just don't keep the low prices. For retirees whose biggest fear is instability, that trade is exactly right. So there's your list. Panama and Costa Rica, where foreign money simply isn't taxed. Malaysia, where the infrastructure outclasses the price tag. Cyprus, with its flat 5% and an EU passport stamp on your life. And Uruguay, the quiet winner, trading a decade-plus tax holiday for first-world prices and first-world stability. And that's the payoff I promised at the start. The best low-tax country isn't the one with the lowest rate. It's the one whose catch you can happily live with. Heat, deposits, healthcare contributions, or Montevideo rent. Pick your catch, and the zero takes care of itself. Remember the golden rule. Uncle Sam files with you forever. And treaties, exclusions, and state residency rules are exactly why you talk to a cross-border tax professional before you move, not after. Now here's my question for you. Which catch could you actually live with? Would you take Cyprus heat, Malaysia's deposit, or Uruguay's prices for a zero on your tax bill? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And before you start pricing flights, there's one enormous decision most future expats get wrong. before they ever leave. What to do with the house? Selling too early is the single most common regret I hear about, and next week I'm showing you exactly why. Don't sell your house to retire abroad until you see this. Subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss it. Until then, run your numbers twice, and I'll see you in the next one.